So this is a conversation. This is a conversation I've been kind of putting off because of fear, but I'm here now having it because honestly, I really want to do a good job for God. I want to do a great job. I want to do the best job I can, and I don't want to let silly things like worrying about what other people will think get in the way of me doing that. Guys, I spent so many years looking and so much time in pain and trying to figure things out. And something's happened in my life, and I can't I can't be silent about it anymore, for the same reason that if you met somebody and you fell so absolutely in love with them, and that power of that love changed everything. It changed everything in you. It made you new again. It shed away everything that was ever holding you back. It destroyed all of the darkness with the power of the light of that love. And you're so in love with this person, you would be dancing and whistling everywhere you went. You could not hide it. You should not have to hide that kind of love from anybody, your friends, your family, your community. I am just going to come out and say it. I'm 100% on fire for God. I'm like, you got to understand that I've been through some stuff. We all have. And I was falling into darkness and despair and confusion and addiction. And I was losing everything. I was losing everything. And I was so confused and so lost and so hurt. And I was literally, not metaphorically, surrounded by darkness and demons. And I know that some people out there might think I'm crazy, but you got to understand, I can't not tell you what has happened in my life. I can't anymore. I've been putting it off too long. I've been trying to be subtle, but I keep coming to God through prayer, and it's so obvious. I need to let this go. I need to break through this layer that's stopping me from doing what I was sent here to do. And I think to a certain extent, all of us are holding ourselves back from really fully being who we came here to be, for what God sent us here to do. We're just so busy worrying what everyone else thinks or dancing around everybody else's opinions. If you're seeing this conversation, I really believe that it's time for you to let go of that too. Why are we dimming the light? It makes no sense. The light is what the world needs. It's what people are asking for. It's what people in pain and darkness need. Why are we dimming it? It doesn't make any sense. Guys, I was in it. I was overcome by things that no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find my way out. I couldn't. And for so long in my life, I was trained to depend on my own strength, my own self-reliance. If you're fighting something that's stronger than you, make yourself stronger. What would I do? Work out at the gym, get a stronger body, try to take drugs to make myself stronger chemically? I mean, it never worked. I could not win this fight that I was in. I don't know how to explain it, but it was bad. The bottom of the barrel, the deepest part of the pit. And I could see all of this darkness coming over me. And I could see that this darkness had been using me for years, tricking me and deceiving me into thinking that it was light. It's hard to explain, but that's not the main point of this. The point is, when I saw what was really going on, that I was being deceived and being used to deceive others, I was horrified. I've never been so sick and horrified. Oh my gosh. I was horrified. I had no idea. And I cried out, and a light, this incredible light, came. And the light shined, and I could see all of the deceit in my life. All of the BS I'd been carrying just washed away. Literally washed away by the light. And all the darkness and all the demons, they couldn't win against the presence of this light. And I was overcome by the most intense emotion, and I just cried and cried and cried, and I just kept apologizing for being such a fool. And I know this is the part where it's like my version of coming out of the closet. It's like, this is what I've been putting off because this changes everything, but it's time. I can't not say it anymore. This light, it's Jesus. And I understand how many people might think that the whole Jesus thing is just a story. It's just a religious idea, just like anything else. But you got to understand, I spent years diving into Buddhism, reading books, looking into Hinduism, Taoism, all these different things. Shiva didn't save me. Buddha didn't save me. Jesus did. And I never read the Bible. I didn't know anything about Jesus or anything about God. I literally had no idea. And yet, in the moment where I saw the darkness for what it really is and cried out for help, Jesus came and saved me. Never been to church, had never read the Bible, literally thought all these other people that were like totally all about Jesus were crazy. You guys got to understand, for years, my inbox would be filling up with people telling me things like, you seem like a nice guy, but you need Jesus, things like this. And I just chalked it up to these are these people's beliefs. They have a very strong belief in this, so I'm just going to not take offense, and I know they're just trying to help me and do what they think is right. I had no belief in Jesus. He did not require that to come and rescue me from this pit of despair and this darkness. And what followed in my life has been like something I can't explain. I was one way. I was this guy in so much pain and hurt, spending my entire life trying to prove myself, trying to make something of myself to win. And then Jesus came, and I was new again. I was new. I'm new. I was one way, and then I was changed forever. I spent more years than you could imagine trying to quit substance abuse. I could never do it on my own. I went to rehab. I got help from other people in my life. And even that, I couldn't do it. Jesus came to me. don't know why. Because when I really look at my life, I don't really think that I deserve it. But he took it all away. I instantly threw out everything, and you got to understand, I tried to get off certain things for so long in my life and battled severe withdrawal, pain and aching in my body. Nothing. You can't make this stuff up. Literally zero withdrawal. Better energy, better clarity than I've ever had in my life. Just took away all of it for me. And then I realized in this presence that Jesus brought to me in my life how egoic I've been, trying to make everything be the way I want it to be. Trying to make myself different with drugs. Trying to make myself feel important and worthy by being somebody on YouTube. Trying to get more money so I could stop being afraid, thinking that it would save me and protect me. But it was like, no matter how many subscribers I got on YouTube, I still never felt enough. And no matter how many drugs I took, I never felt full. And no matter how many shows I'd watch or pizzas I'd eat, like nothing I did would give me what it was I was looking for. And I was so lost and so confused. And then he came and it just made sense all of a sudden, something that never did for some reason. I needed to surrender my life to God. It just became obvious. Everything else was dumb all of a sudden. Everything else was insanity. The only thing that made any logical sense was to give my life to God and to surrender. And so from that point on, I was led to prayer. I know a lot of people pray, God, please help me with my finances. God, please help me with my health. I'm not saying these things are wrong. I'm pretty new to this, everybody. I really am new to this, newer than most of you, it seems. A lot of you have been waiting for this to happen for me. And I really appreciate that. And I'm sure that there are many out there who have been praying for this to happen for me. And prayer is extremely powerful, and I know that you've helped. I can see that, and I'm so grateful. But when I'm going to prayer, I'm not asking for money or for better health or for things to go the way I want. My prayer is entirely, God, I surrender to your will. I'll be whoever you want me to be. I'll do what you want me to do. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll say what you want me to say. If you want me to have money, I'll have it. If you don't, I won't. If you want this person in my life, then she'll come back. If you don't, then she won't. It just all of a sudden made sense. I don't know how to explain it. But this presence, God's presence is incredible because I've been praying every day, multiple times. It's like, it's everything. It's like water for a thirsty person who's been living in the desert, searching for it. It's like food for someone who's been starving. The part of me that was so empty and confused and searching, going to God in prayer fills it. That's the meal I've been looking for my entire life. And I know that sounds crazy, but God gives this to me. And it's become so obvious that God knows what I need way before I do. I don't know what I need. I've never known. And going to God is like, you don't even have to say, God, I need this, I want this, please help me with this. You show up to God, boom. If you're really in the presence of God, it'll become extremely obvious to you that you do not know what you're talking about. In the presence of God, it becomes very clear that you do not know what you need. God does. This is a very humbling experience. And when you're really in that presence, at least the way it is for me, I cry every single time. And I'm getting clarity on a lot of things. I'm healthier than I've ever been. A second chance has come my way. A second chance I prayed for a long time ago. Everything is beginning to clarify in my life. I'm being taken care of in ways that I never was before. And I'm not even asking God, please do this for me. Please do this for me. I'm just showing up and I'm telling God, I will do what you sent me here to do. And I pray that I am humbled enough to recognize in those moments when that is the truth, when God is working through me and when it is just my own ego, because it can be very confusing sometimes. There's so much that's come from this. I now understand that I'm not meant to stop making videos. I'm meant to make them more now than I ever was before. And when I say that God speaks to me in prayer, I want to make it clear it's not a voice. I truly do not believe that I'm some kind of prophet or anything like this. It's very clear to me in the presence of God, I'm just a normal person humbled by this mighty power that is unfathomable. And I just want to let it use me for whatever it wants. And that's why I'm here making this video, because all of my prayers today and yesterday, my meetings with God, has been made very clear to me that there are things that I'm meant to say that has nothing to do with me, but has to do with the salvation of the souls of people on this planet. Because there's things that are going on that I did not see before, but it's become extremely true and real, and it always has been. And suddenly all the things that kept me from seeing this before, I can see how they were a dream, an illusion, keeping me from the truth. This world is full of this. I'll save that for another video. All I want to do in this video is give glory to God. Guys, no one has ever given me what God is giving me. No one. Nothing has ever given me what God is doing for me in my life. And there are so many people who have cared about me and tried to help me in my life. But Jesus is the one who saved me. And I don't know what else to tell you about it. It's real. It really happened. And it wasn't something that I believed and hallucinated into existence because I never believed in Jesus. Understand, I was more deeply into Hinduism and Buddhism than anything else. And these places would explain that, Jesus was just a dude who realized enlightenment. Guys, this light that Jesus is unlike any soul. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life. You know that you are in the presence of God. And when you experience these things for yourself, it's challenging at first because you don't know what to say. You don't want to tell people about it because you feel like people are just going to think you're crazy. Look, I grew up in a family where my ideas that were programmed into me about, Jesus and God and all this stuff from a young age were that people who were into that stuff are literally crazy. That's literally what I was taught. And he still saved me. And I've heard some people say that you don't choose Jesus, he chooses you. And I'm here making this video because I just don't want to let them down. the Holy Spirit keeps convicting me to say certain things in these videos, and I've been going there a little bit, but like holding back. And I can't do it anymore. I can't pretend like the most magnificent thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life has happened. I can't pretend. I can't call it different things and change the way I'm talking about it to try to say it in a way that I think people out there will like. I need to just tell you the truth. And the truth is what has happened. And God says, and again, it's not like a voice talking to me. You're in this presence. You're extremely humbled. All of the falseness in you, all of the darkness, it withers away in the presence of God. It's hard to explain unless you really are doing true prayer. And I don't know why it's worked for me so instantaneously, where it seems like a lot of people who are like raised in the church and Jesus and God and all this, I don't know if they're tapping into this space. It's like, whoa, unlike any space I've ever been in. I don't know why it's working for me. I really don't know. I think my theory is because I'm truly repentant and humbled and understand that I'm not the Messiah. I'm just a normal person, and I'm not asking for anything for myself. I'm surrendering. That's my theory, but I don't know for sure. But in this presence of God, everything that is false, it dies. All of the darkness, it runs in terror. And the only thing that's left is God's will for your life. And I don't know how to explain it, but you can just see it. You know, it's because nothing else exists but that. And it's clear and it's pure. And sometimes God asks me to do things that I don't want to do. But I am going to do them anyways. And the only reason I don't want to do the things that God asks me to do is because sometimes I'm scared of what people will think or things like that. But I'm really working to get over that right now in my life because it's really holding me back from being who God has sent me here to be. And so I'm working on that, and I'm doing the best I can. Every day I'm making really big strides in this place. And guys, God says that a time is upon us. And again, I want you to understand, I really don't think I'm a prophet, okay? This is just what I feel in the presence of God and what I know. A time is upon us. There are a lot of things that are happening in the world right now that anybody who pays attention will see already happening. And there's more coming. And it's going to get crazier. And it's not going to make any sense. But don't be afraid. Because God has a plan. It's more important now than it's ever been before as we are approaching a time where we're not there yet, so I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but there is a time coming where it will be too late to turn to the truth. You will have made your bed and rested in it, so to speak. A time is coming. This is not a joke. Turn to God, surrender your life to God right now. Stop being in your ego and thinking that everything is about you trying to manifest more success or money or relationships or stuff for yourself that you want. This life is not about getting a bigger house. It's not about getting more money, guys. It's not about making people like you. This is an illusion. It's trapping people's souls here. It's feeding on them. Jesus is sent here by God to rescue us and take us from this place that is tricking us and deceiving us into burying ourselves into a very dark thing that we do not understand. I'm not trying to scare anybody. You don't need to be scared. All you have to do is turn to God. He'll send the Holy Spirit to protect you. It will convict you of the truth. It will lead you to Jesus. Jesus will lead you to God. It's just this whole full circle thing. The Holy Trinity is not a joke. It's real. Thank you. you for listening. I appreciate all of you. Much love. And in my opinion, truth is over everything. Everything is underneath truth. Truth is what matters now more than ever. Truth. And as scary as the truth might be sometimes, as much as the truth may upend what it is that we've been creating and telling the story of ourselves, as much as the truth sometimes looks us in the face and says you've been wrong your whole life, and that's hard to hear, but it does set you free. Because at least now you can see. And I'm honestly telling you this, I was blind. I was blind. And now I can see. I was lost. But now I'm home. I hope to see you in the next video. I understand that what I'm saying would potentially cause many people in the world to turn away because of preconceptions about these kinds of conversations. And I get it, because I used to be like that. The hope is that you're being here with me over these years and being part of this journey unfolding and witnessing my life as a real person encourages you to consider, at least consider the possibility that what I'm saying is true. Just consider it. And I'm going to offer you what's referred to as a skeptic's prayer. It's very simple, okay? You go into prayer and you pray. God, I don't know if you're real. I don't know if you really exist. But if you are, please show me. Please bring me some undeniable sign in my life. Prove it to me. And then I'll come back. And this is not meditation. I want you to understand, I've been deeply into meditation for years, like sometimes hours a day of meditation. And that never gave me what going to God through prayer gives me instantaneously the second I'm in the presence of God. It's easy. It's really not hard. It really isn't. Meditation never gave me the peace or the filling that God gives me. There are so many different teachings and things out there that pull people in like a web, like a rope. Hey, come over here. I'll give you what you want. Guys, I'm telling you, I've been all over the place in so many different schools of thoughts. I've done so many different techniques. I've done so many different things. God is what you're looking for. Just go to God. Just go to God. This is where all true healing comes from. This is where all true power comes from. Go to God. You won't regret it. It'll make you realize everywhere else you've been going has been a false story. It's been you playing mind games with yourself. Go to God. It's the only place you're going to get it. Okay? Thank you. Much love. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And I do hope to, because I have some things that it's time to say. I am still a little bit scared to talk about them, but I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to do it. So, see you there. See you soon.